Hello and welcome back to another Xenoverse 2 tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about a key build, the best key build that I know of, or the best key build that I can come up with based on what I know about the game, based on what I have in the game, and things that you guys will be able to replicate, hopefully. Alright, I'm going to use my my freeze race, only because they actually have a higher key blast damage overall in comparison to all of the other different types of characters you could have. So I'm gonna go with my freeze race. I go to single lobby so there's less distraction. This guy will kind of cover over how to maximize your key output for key blast supers. It is by no means a one-shot kill kind of thing. It's by no means going to make you like just insta-kill everything, but it will make you a lot stronger when it comes to key blast moves and make you feel like you have a lot more power behind all of the moves that you put in. Alright, the first thing first is that we're going to want to look at our attributes. So we go to customize, boost attributes, and I have some points left over, but I don't really need to use those for this particular build. You can put the ones that I haven't assigned wherever you want. The only one that's really important for us is the key blast supers. You're going to want to make sure that this is maxed out at 125. This helps give you that extra percentage. I think it's like a 15% buff, something like that, when you max out everything, which is pretty nice if you think about it. So if you're going for like a build that's kind of both of these, you might not be able to have 125 in there unless you bring down your max key. But I'd recommend just making sure that first of all that your key blast supers is maxed out, and if it's not, work on getting that maxed out, do different quests to level up, all that fun stuff. Alright, the next thing we're going to look at is our equipment. When you go to our equipment, there's only two things that really have to worry about in our equipment. Everything else is kind of just cosmetic. The QQ Bang is going to be pretty important, as they give quite a big boost when it comes to what you're doing and what it gives you. I'd recommend finding one that gives you a 5 up in blast super. So as you can see, this one gives you 5 up in blast supers, and then it gives me negative strike, basic attack, and stamina, and it raises my key as well, which is a nice bonus. I like to find ones for my key build that has a plus in key and a plus in key blast super. Those are the two that I'm really looking for, especially key blast supers. So I could probably find one with a little bit less of a downside. Let's see, stamina, strike super. Yeah, this one would be a really good one for the key blast super, unless you really didn't want to sacrifice the health. In order to make QQ bangs, I kind of went over that in my beginner's tutorial, but I'd just keep on making them until you can get an optimal one for a key blast. So I'll use this one. Well, actually, this one only has a 4 up, so I'll just go with this one for now. You usually want to do like a 5 up if you can. If worst comes to worst, you could do like a 4 up, but the more up, the better. Alright, next we can pick a proper Super Soul. Super Souls seem to add like I think it's like add up to a 20% bonus with the XL. I'm currently equipped with Right Then Let's Begin the Experiment. This is a DLC one, so you can't get it unless you do that certain quest. I'll bring it up in a second. When I go over all the different PQ quests and stuff where you can get these Super Souls, but this isn't the one that we're really going to focus on because I'm trying to make this for everyone. It's really good because you get it as soon as you start up. The only downside is you have to have your health above 75, so you have to keep recovery on you, or you have to be really good at not getting hit. So you can kind of take that as you will. For that, next one we're going to look for is before creation comes rain? Sorry, my bad. Alright, it turns out I might have just switched over it, or flipped over it. Either way, here's before creation comes ruin, not rain, like I was saying. I just wrote it terribly. So it gives XL to all boost key blasts. The only downside of this is that you have to wait about 30 seconds before it will start, so I'll equip that real quick. So with all the combinations, with QQ Bang giving me a 5 up, with before creation comes ruin giving me an XL in key based blast based skills, and having all of the attributes going to 125, we can finally test out how much damage we're going to do. Almost ran into that person. Oh, no. We go over to the training area. We're going to test out just how much damage we can pull off maximum. And I'm going to be using, I think I have Gigantic Roar equipped. I hope I do. If not, I'll just use whatever I have and then compare it to the next one when I unequipped everything, just to show you guys how much of a bonus it gives you with all the stuff added on top of each other, which is really nice. Alright, turns out I do have Gigantic Roar. The only reason why I'm using it is because no matter how long it hits them, it will do a certain amount of damage. So instead of like some beams where they do damage over time, Gigantic Roar will hit them once and then do that damage. No matter how many times they're hit with it, it will just do that set of damage. So right now I'm doing 8,947. I think that should be without the buff. So we'll wait until it activates before creation comes ruin, which is activated. So with the buff, it would be just gives you about 1,400, something like that. Oh no, maybe a little bit more than that. About 2,000 more damage with the buff, and that's XL buff. So you could use this in place of right then let's begin the experiment if you don't mind waiting for a little bit, and it does exactly the same thing. And you can get this from PQ63, so it's really nice, really easy to get. Gives you a little bit more damage, so on and so forth. Alright, now I'm going to X out, and then I'm going to take off all the stuff. And you can kind of see how much it brings down the score when it comes to damage. And then on the note of the Freezer race, the reason why I say I suggest this one so much is because if you were to use a female Saiyan, which is right underneath the Frieza race, and turns of power with blast supers, it would actually do about 1,000 less damage overall. And then once it goes, if you're comparing their gold forms, Super Vegeta, which is the one that buffs blast supers, and then Golden Frieza, it's even more of a difference. I'll turn that off real quick. And now, without any of my bonuses, I think it's just going to be the base damage, probably a little bit less than what we found last time. Yeah, it's 8,400, which is not even close to being the 10,000. It's about 2,000 to 3,000 off because it was a bit over 10,000, I believe. So it does give you quite a bit of damage, and that might not seem like a lot of damage, like 2,000 damage. That's not that big of a deal, but if you use your supers, that super does like 2,000 damage or less, if not like a little bit more. So giving you like that much more damage on top of what you're already doing is actually a pretty decent buff, and can mean the difference between winning or losing a battle just by a little bit of a margin. Like let's say they had a little bit left in their health bar, you can go ahead and finish them off, so on and so forth. I really like this move, it's pretty cool. Alright, yeah, and that's pretty much it for the key building guide. Let me go back out and kind of summarize everything that's been put out. Alright, in order to summarize, you want to make sure your attributes are at 125. Make sure your equipment is set so that you have a 5 up if you can get it. Force alright too, but the higher up in Key Blast Super the better. I try not to sacrifice Key if you're going for Key Blast Supers, but everything else I wouldn't really mind going negative in my opinion. And then the Super Soul, I definitely want to go with before creation comes ruin. If I can find it and don't skip over it again. There you go. It says a bit after the battle starts, boost key abilities by exile, which is really nice. It's actually probably one of the most convenient Super Souls, because, I mean, it doesn't start off immediately, so sometimes, I guess, 30 seconds of not having that bonus would be kind of inconvenient at some points, but in comparison to right then, let's begin the experiment, it's much nicer because you don't have to worry about keeping your health up all of the time. So I definitely recommend using that one when you get a chance. Alright, I am currently doing the Vegeta quest with my Frieza race. It's the expert mission that a lot of people use to TP grind, just to show you how much damage I can do in one match. That way you can decide how you use it, so on and so forth. I usually use my highest DPS one of the characters for TP grinding, just because I want to get through bosses super fast. If you get a whole group of people to use Emperor's Death Beam on this, it will wipe out a Vegeta. And sometimes lag him, depending on how many people are using it. Looks like he's... oh, no, I guess he's not blocking. I like to pair this with Prelude of Destruction. I don't have it equipped at the moment, but I like to use it quite often just to sand break him, and then right afterwards I'll use the Emperor's Death Beam. There's also a Super Soul, I believe, that goes with Emperor's Death Beam that will let you do it twice. I'm currently using the Super Soul. Before creation comes the runes, so I won't be using that one in particular, but I prefer more damage over more doing it, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm sure that there's a equilibrium for it, and if you like that Super Soul, I'm not exactly sure what's called, so you'll have to look that one up, but feel free to use that one too. Alright, finished them off. That was pretty fast for just one person and a bunch of NPCs. Alright, as you can see, I did like around 900 damage, which is pretty good in comparison to the comms. The comms obviously aren't going to do very much, but normally, if you're in a match with a lot of people and they're not set up properly, they're only going to have like 200 score when it comes to attack rating, or 100 or 300, whereas for using a build like this, you can get to 700, if not more. I've actually gotten up to like 1,000 some on my attack score before. Which is actually somewhat surprising, because I could have sworn I did more damage using my Saiyan. I'm actually using my Saiyan right now just so I could access the expert missions, because I don't have them unlocked yet on my other character. So if I go back to this one, I forgot to equip the right preset. Oh well, it should be fine. I think I can actually change presets in here, yeah. So this is my preset for my main Ki Blast Saiyan. So in comparison, I can kind of show you the difference on score. I might actually score better on this one. It'd be kind of crazy if I did, but I can kind of show you the difference when it comes to charge. Oop, I don't have my I don't have my Emperor's Death Beam equipped. Oh, this is gonna be take a little bit longer. I'd recommend not using a Super Spirit Bomb for this particular mission, just because it kind of nullifies all the other people's moves. I'm only gonna be using it now just because I have to use it. This is one of my only ultimates. I'd recommend just spamming ultimate on this one. There's no reason not to, especially if you use the Emperor's Death Beam. It's super nice. You might actually end up doing more damage than using Super Spirit Bomb, which does slightly more damage. Well, not overall, but since I can throw like 3 of them before I run out of ki, it does more damage than the Emperor's Death Beam total, with all 3 of them thrown. So I might actually do. These bombs aren't doing bad though. Like I'm actually surprised that they're tearing them apart. But it's quite well. There we go. And just that one the super vanishing ball, but ripped through one whole entire thing of key. Yeah, I only did 500 this time in comparison to the 700, so I actually did less than what I was expecting. Which shows, I guess, proves that the Saiyan race, not Saiyan race, the Frieza race does do a little bit more damage. And I have the same build on both. Well, roughly, I have the time for experiment on this one. The they must begin the experiment, which gives the same exact buff, and I have the same exact level and same exact attribute. So it should kind of show you that Frieza race is slightly better in that sense. I've seen people take a Frieza race with Emperor's Death Beam and a couple other moves and completely annihilate Crystal Ray bosses. The only really good Crystal Ray boss, well, I don't want to go into that, I guess. That could be a different video. But I would recommend building a whole entire different build if you're going to be doing that. And I can go over a video or tutorial on how to fight and beat Crystal Ray bosses if you want me to. Alright, and that's pretty much it for this video when it comes to building your best key build. If you have any questions, let me know. If you know about any more Super Souls that could help this build or anything else that might change or, you know, add a bonus, let me know in the comments. That's all from me. Bye-bye.